meeting Mickey was completely random. We were working with Motorhead, and I was on tour with them, and we were in an airport in London, and someone noticed my film equipment and said, "Oh, what are you making?" And I told him about Lemmy, and he said, "I know this guy in Wales that saved Audrey Hepburn's life, met Hitler, met Roosevelt, got shot in a raid on Saint Nazaire as a poet." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, man, nice to meet you." And he's like, "He needs a film made on him." I'm like, "All right, well, here's my number, call me." And I don't believe you. And then a couple of weeks later, he emailed me a clip of a video interview with Mickey, and I was like, "Wow, that guy was not lying." And that's how it started. And I went to Wales and started hanging out with Mickey as often as possible.
And how long was it? Was 4 years on and off. How much time did you spend with Mickey, and did your view of him change?
It was actually, so 4 years, that's including a year after he passed away when there was a lot of sorting of things out, and then another 8 months of editing and things. But so about a year and a half of filming with him. And then after he passed away, there's a lot of things to sort, and then we got that sorted. But I mean, right away, I just sort of like fell in love with the character that he is. It's like you meet him for 2 minutes, and you're like, wow, this guy's really fun, and he has this like look in his eye, like he's seen things that you know you'll never see. And the more I was around him, the more I wanted to spend time with him. And I think it just sort of like my enjoyment for the project grew as I met him. He was always a great person, and there was a funny moment. There's these older documentary clips of him in the film that we watched, and he said, what do you think of me back then? I'm like, I don't like that Mickey. I like this Mickey. He just seems like he seemed like a really fun person then, like almost, I don't know, he seemed like a child in a 97-year-old's body. He was still learning things, still getting exciting about things. And I just like eventually look forward to growing old, you know? Most people are afraid of it, but when you see someone like Mickey, it's like, it's not gonna be so bad, I hope.
It's a great role model for us all. But undertaking that trip with, I mean, he was 96 when you set off in the plane to Saint Nazaire, and then to go on, was it all one long trajectory?
It was.
And in addition to going off to see Deborah, Duchess of Devonshire, I mean, you can't have possibly got insurance. So, I mean, I'm just trying to think, was it emotionally very daunting? How did you prepare?
I think he was so excited by that idea. Like a friend of his said, I know a pilot, and then the pilot's like, yeah, I'll fly you guys down there. So it was sort of favors that got us in this little prop plane. And Mickey had been to Saint Nazaire for the anniversary of the raid before, but he had never been back to Colditz, and he certainly hadn't been on a train all the way across because it's a long ride. And I think all in, it was about a 9 or 10 day trip. So we flew down, and then we hung out in Saint Nazaire, and then went across. And I was like, oh man, this could be really bad, or it could be really good. And Mickey, his big preparation was he found a biodegradable bottle to pee in if he had to pee on the plane that he was going to throw out the window. And the whole time he's like, I don't have to pee. I'm like, that's good, man. Neither do I. And then the plane was like, as you could tell, was built in like the 60s. And I'm like, I shouldn't be getting on this plane. And Mickey goes, you think we'll be all right on this plane? I'm like, if I'm going down, I'm all right going down with you, man. But I think you survived enough where I doubt this is going to be how it all ends for you. But he had so much energy, and it was exhausting as a filmmaker to be traipsing around and filming him and constantly being on and filming. And he had so much energy on that trip. He was so excited. And you see he runs right up 5 flights of stairs in Colditz looking for the radio room. And so it was just so fun to watch this guy so excited. And that was just a blast. I mean, it never gets better than that.
And Audrey Hepburn's mother, I mean, it does sound like many aspects of his life completely unbelievable, impossible. He said, don't say that we had an affair or something. I mean, can you tell us what, because it was very ambiguous about what he might have meant by that.
Yeah, I think these are sort of stories that he's probably been telling for a long time in a very vague way. Yes, I used to hang out with her, and she saw me on the propaganda film, and then I'm pretty sure he didn't really publicly admit ever before that he was sort of having an affair with her. And over the course of the year and a half when I met him, he was like, no, I was just friends with her. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And then later on at the end of the film, he's like, well, you don't have to say I was having an affair, but maybe I was. And then he's in the kitchen with James, like, maybe this happened or didn't happen, but here's how she liked it. I'm like, whoa, dude, did you say that? So I think he knew this was his last chance to tell us these stories. And he was so honest, like it blew my mind. Almost too honest, obviously, in some scenes. But it was just really amazing to see someone that honest with you. But I think he told me he had been interviewed a few times before for Audrey Hepburn bio documentaries, and their family always cut him out. I'm like, that's weird, because you said things about her mom that are really interesting. So, yeah. Yeah, how do you fit Mickey's almost 100 years into an hour and a half movie? It was really hard. And I think if he saw the movie, he passed away sadly before I had a chance to edit it. I think he'd probably be mad at me because only a small fraction's in the film. It's actually really, really hard. And I kept saying, okay, well, this can go on the DVD bonus section, and this can go on that too, and this will go on the internet, because there's so much more to Mickey. That's like literally just the tip of the iceberg. And if you read his autobiography, there's like a million more stories. It's really fascinating. But I wanted to do my best and just show him as a person now and concentrate on his personality today rather than all the history, and then try to get as much of the history in as I could. No, I mean, I don't know, you could probably tell, but he kind of loved the camera. Mickey like was always like, he called me his shadow. He's like, where's my shadow? And then like Mickey, and he kept constantly talking to me. I'm like, Mickey, you gotta act like I'm not here, man. Just go buy the bag of chips. And he'd talk to me again. But there was never a moment where he's like, can you turn the camera off? My previous film about Lemmy, the subject of the day was always like, get the camera out of my face, turn the camera off, always. So it was really refreshing to hang out with Mickey, who was really excited to tell his story. So now there's nothing that I had to turn the camera off for. A lot of funny moments that happened that I wish the camera was on for, but you can't roll all the time, even though I do have about 300 hours of footage of him. Yeah, I mean, I think I put as much of what I knew about it in the film as I could. Like it's told through his sister-in-law and the stories Mickey told. I mean, I just know that he fell madly in love with her, and he just knew that this was. I think he was always sort of conflicted about his sexuality when he met her. He questioned where he had been all this time and said, "I'm in love with her. I'm going to try it." And I think it was still something that tormented him till the end. And I don't think it was a simple relationship. I don't think he suddenly became straight for those years and then yeah. So, but it was very complicated. But all I know is it was like in his world, like the ultimate romance, and he just loved her as much as anybody could. I hope so. We don't have distribution yet. If I should have brought some copies, I'd sell you one right now. But this is its premiere, and then hopefully all of you tell your friends to demand it, and then somebody will buy it, and it'll be on TV and for sale. So I have a little book with me if anyone wants to write their name down to get on a little mailing list tonight. But yeah, eventually.
Do you have a website as well?
Oh yeah, turnedtowardsthesun.com is our website. So just stay on there, and we'll definitely keep updating that as the film gets out there.